Well, welcome back, Jessica, to Life Along the Streetcar. It's been a while since we first spoke.
Yeah, I think it's been just over a year, perhaps.
Yeah. So when we first met, you were on the job for like 23 minutes, I think, or something like that.
It sure felt that way. I was a couple of months into my job at Local First Arizona in Tucson.
Well, we've featured Local First multiple times, so if people want to get more, they can head over to the website to learn about the all those details. But can you give us kind of that brief overview of what you do? Because I know you love that question since there's nothing brief about Local First.
Right, you're right. There really isn't. There's quite a bit of work we do, but Local First is a statewide organization that's on a mission to create equitable systems for local businesses and ensure our local entrepreneurs and communities have the resources they need to be successful. So it's all about the local community and the businesses within them.
That's the most succinct definition I've ever heard. Just you start to talk about rural programs and sustainability programs and Spanish programs and economic growth and shop local and the importance. But you very well summed that up. It's like you've been practicing this.
You know what? And I guarantee it's a lot more succinct than it was a year and a half ago when I was still learning about all those things you just mentioned. Because you're right, there's a lot that goes into building a strong economy in the state of Arizona.
Well, what about building a strong local first? Because again, when we first met, you were Tucson.
Yeah.
And I understand you've grown slightly?
We have. We've grown quite a bit, actually. I'm coming up on 2 years with the organization now, and if you think back, we were kind of coming out of COVID and starting to meet local business owners where they were at and figure out exactly what it was the community needed. Fast forward nearly 2 years now, and we are a full-time team of 4 in the Business Coalition here in Tucson.
4? I thought it was, what, did you just add somebody?
We did. Well, we have 4. So there's myself, there's Nick Spinelli, we have Ana Chavarian and Moises Gomez here local full-time in Tucson.
Oh, okay.
And
you're counting yourself.
I was counting myself in those 4 because we're all out in the community working.
Okay. Yeah. But did you recently hire somebody?
We did, actually. We're hiring somebody to work within our food systems group.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and they'll be joining the team, I believe, next month. And so that'll make us a team of 5 here in Tucson and to really be...
So my surprise was not completely out of the ordinary.
No, that's...
I thought it grew much.
Yeah, and the rumors are right. We continue to grow, not only in membership, but also in followers and support from the community. We've had a lot of growth over the couple of years I've been here, and I feel like we're just starting to take off in terms of the programming we're offering to the community and really getting a highlight on those local businesses again here in Tucson.
So now that you've got a team that's focused on specific areas of the mission, where do you spend your time? What is your sort of daily routine?
Yeah, absolutely. Here in Tucson, my time is spent working on partnerships, making sure that we understand what the community needs, that we're not duplicating efforts, that we're supporting our partners where they need us, and that we're also finding holes within our local ecosystem to offer educational workshops and ensure that my team here in Tucson and our statewide team are using the experts that we have to really support our local community.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the puzzle that gets a little bit lost in translation. You've got a state team, and this is not just the great state of Maricopa. It's you got Yuma, you've got Flagstaff, you've got all kinds of people on the ground in these communities.
Absolutely. We do have our team in Phoenix, but we also have an entire rural team that's working throughout southern Arizona, northern Arizona. We have full-time staff up in Flagstaff now. There really isn't a part of the state that we're not active in terms of providing services and having partnerships.
How big is the organization general staff-wise?
General staff-wise, we are somewhere between 50 and 60 at this point, which is considerable. Prior to COVID, I believe we were less than 10. So we've experienced a lot of growth in terms of staff, but also in terms of reach.
Well, and again, if you're listening and want to find out more about the interview we did with Jessica after she started, that's on the website, lifelongstreetcar.org. Just put in Local First or Jessica Barfield, and you'll get that information. The focus of that conversation, though, is mostly Local First and its impact during COVID, the money that the millions of dollars that it helped to reallocate from federal government, getting into some of the communities in Tucson that had not really participated in some of the COVID relief funds.
Right, absolutely.
But now that path is passed. So like, what are some of the things that you're working on right now?
Well, I will just say that through COVID, one of the things that was created by Local First was the Arizona Economic Recovery Center. That's now the resource center. Okay. Because we were so successful in gaining grants, both federal, state, private grants, and bringing money into the state of Arizona, we were able to create a full-time ongoing department to handle, requests from not-for-profits and communities that don't have grant writers. So we're still working on that grant side of things and continuing the work that started during COVID. But in terms of building our business coalition.
But on the grant side, so what is an example of a community that and a grant and a connection that goes to what first?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of crazy to say, but over the last 3 years, we officially just hit $81 million brought into the state of Arizona. And that sounds insurmountable, but I do want to say 21 million was one grant that was given to the Hopi tribe.
Okay.
They will be going completely solar, and we were able to help write that grant, go after the federal dollars, and bring in $21 million to help one of our tribes go completely solar. And that will, to our knowledge, be the first, I believe, tribe that is trying to do this. And become 100% resilient. And
did they approach you for help, or did you reach out because you saw a need? Do you remember how that connected? I know it's not really Southern Arizona, but I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not exactly sure how that particular grant came to be. However, we do have a department that is focused on just tribal relations and going out and working with those communities throughout the state. And so we've been doing outreach. We've been working here with the Pasquayaki tribe and the Tohono O'odham tribe to help them just organize some of their strategy and the way that they're operating, which has been fantastic. We've been really just helping with listening sessions and bringing leaders together. There's some great work going in terms of food justice and sovereignty. They're doing some great things. And so in terms of who found who for that grant, I'm not sure, but we do have 2 full-time grant writers in that recovery center, or 2 full-time staff that works with a team of grant writers, should I say, at the recovery center. And what they do is they go out and they find grants that Arizona businesses or communities or tribes would qualify for. And they keep an updated database, but they also have a database from all of the different organizations that have reached out asking for help so that we can find collaborators. What we found is whenever we bring people together that have like-minded missions, visions, or complement each other, we're a lot more competitive to go after these grants. And so we kind of have a database, and when we get grants, we look into our database and figure out who might be the right partners to apply for those grants, And so that is a full-time department and something that we have ongoing at Local First Arizona.
Well, then back here in Southern Arizona, of course, that is part of Southern Arizona, but in your role, are your partnerships that you're working on, are you interconnecting more with businesses, with people, with individuals, organizations?
More with businesses. A lot of the members for Local First Arizona, we kind of have a spread, but a lot have 0 to 10 employees. And so we really work with businesses to help strengthen, their education. Like, what is it that they need that we can help them get? So we have monthly networking events where we encourage, business owners to come out and find collaborative partners in the community to do business with. But we also do educational workshops depending on what our members need. And we're spending a lot of time uncovering opportunities. We have some programming, such as our sustainable programming, where we help small businesses or any Arizona business up into the larger scale projects take a look at their footprint. What is it that they're doing in terms of their operations that's having an environmental impact? And what changes could they make to improve that impact and their bottom dollar? Like, keep more money in that company so they can reallocate those resources and strengthen their business elsewhere,
So you're saving them money and they're also saving the planet in the meantime.
Right, for sure. And
I don't want to be that sustainable guy, but I do want to save a few dollars here and there, so.
Right. You could be in it for one reason or the other. We're in it for both. It's to help that business. And what we've found is some businesses have really been able to take advantage of the current rebates that are out there. There's a lot of money that came out through the Inflation Reduction Act lately for both residential and commercial opportunities. And so we have Moises Gomez on our staff that's really an expert in helping businesses tap into that and find ways to save money and reallocate those in an impactful way to their business.
Do you find that you have to be the building owner, or is it, can a business operate within like a leased space? But like,
a lot of times it helps in terms of rebates to have a physical location. However, there are businesses that we've helped that say have delivery services because maybe they need to change out their automobile. And that's part of going sustainable, and there's rebates out there for that. If they're shipping, if they're doing a lot of procurement or delivery, like there's a whole lot of ways to look at the way you're packing your projects, where you're sourcing your items. All of that matters in terms of sustainability. So there's a lot that we can do if you have physical products that are being sold and shipped, in terms of sustainability as well.
And I say partnership-wise, I'm also saying a lot of times where the name Local First Arizona is connected to like a startup coalition or a pitch competition or something where you are participating or supporting, you're helping each other out, but it seems like your Local First name is attached to a lot of things in a community. That's
a really good point, and it kind of brings us back to your first question when you were asking about grants. So during COVID, we were really active in going out and applying for monies, and one of the grants that we were successful at bringing to the state was the Navigator Grant. We received $12 million to help support small businesses, and what we did is we developed a spoken and hub kind of model where we went out into the community and we found partners like our local partners like Startup Tucson, Startup Unidos, the CIC, Arizona Growth Partners, and we are able to fund some of the work they were doing in the community during COVID behind the scenes to get their programming out there.
Okay.
And so whenever they're out doing some of their workshops that have been funded through the Navigator Grant, you'll see our name attached, and a lot of times we are also supporting at those events because we ended up, I know we topped over 2 million brought into the Tucson area through the Navigator Grant that has been realized through programming in our community over the last 2 years.
Wow, I think that goes back to some of the original comments, which are there's so many threads to Local First. It's hard to summarize it in a little elevator pitch.
Right. Well, collaboration is at the core of what we do, and so you'll see us working with partners on these pitch events and all of these events. If it's benefiting our local business community, we're going to try and support how we can and get our members involved, because a lot of times we know business owners are busy working in their business. And so we take that role of helping to ensure they're aware of educational opportunities and opportunities to grow and collaborate.
Yeah, it's funny, when I was more of a supporter, and I've been a Local First for years, but when I was more of a supporter, I was able to attend a lot of these events. And since I reached out and opened a few businesses, I don't have the time to go to some of the events anymore, so I can feel their pain. Like, this is what I needed the most.
Well,
it's hard to get out.
You're right. So we're going to have to bring more events to you.
No, I like show up. Speaking of then businesses, obviously it's Local First, so you have to be a locally owned business to get in.
Absolutely. So all of the businesses within our organization, you have to be local, and the owners need to live in the state of Arizona. What we know is whenever you have local business owners that are involved in the business, they tend to have better business. They tend to be more involved in giving back to their community. As a consumer, that truly matters. And that's one thing that we constantly talk about is keep your money local. Let's figure out how we can spend our money locally. Because we know if we go out and spend $100 at a boxed retailer, $13 stays in our community. That's basically the people that they're paying and the utilities, right? There's not a whole lot left of the money. But whenever we go out and we support a local business, we spend that $100 and around $45 stays local. And that matters because, our local businesses oftentimes pay for local advertising. They pay to have someone manage their website locally. Their money stays local and it helps generate jobs. And so, that is something that we're constantly reminding consumers is what is it that you spend money often on that you could buy locally? Mm-hmm. I always encourage people to start with 10%. Think about Christmas time. Think about gifts. That's an easy one to go local and a fun one. But even things like office supplies, we have places. What are you printing? Where are you going? We have a directory. Go to our website. You can look for any kind of service or goods and find someone locally that are doing it here in Arizona.
And is there if I'm a business and I want to go local, but I'm just concerned about cost, or like I don't want to go to a directory. If I can just go online, click some buttons, get stuff delivered to me, that's easy. That's worth it, the time. I mean, there's some challenges to playing local, right?
Right, there are. One of the things that I remind business owners of is people want to go local, but they won't if local sucks. Right? Like, I want to spend my money locally, but if I don't have a good alternative, you're making it really hard.
Right.
So we try and empower our businesses with the tools that they need to be online, to have that presence, or figure out what their niche is. And another thing to think about, if you own a business and you're thinking, well, how can I maybe change the way that I'm buying my products and make those local? Reach out to Local First. We actually have a program called Source AZ where we will help you find those contractors that are local, either through an RFP process, or we will go through our directory and provide you some of that information. One of our really awesome partners is WIST, a local office supply company. They are in Arizona, based in Arizona. They'll deliver. They have a website just as good, better than Amazon or Office, all of those bigger words I'm not going to use. Just as convenient.
Some throwdowns here on Life Along the Streetcar. We're going to start a national, international scene here.
Just as convenient, but they're here. And so
how do businesses, individuals, people that want to learn more, they want to get involved, they want to get connected, and what's their next step?
LocalFirstAZ.com is a place you can go to get more information. You can find our directory of businesses. You can also see our staff. And all of the information is there based upon what you're looking for, because there is so much for us. Or simply go to our event calendar. Like I said, we have networking events the first Wednesday of every month. We'd love for business owners to come out. Community members are welcome too if you want to learn about local. This is a great place to actually meet local business owners and figure out who you're supporting, as well as learn more about the local business that we're popping up at. So our next one is up at Catalina Brewers, actually, in June. And that's up on the northwest side of town. But it's a really cool brewery. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a pretty big space with games.
I've heard good things. I've not been.
So we're popping up there in June.
Maybe that's the one I'll make.
Maybe that's it. I'd love to have you come. But you're always welcome at any of our events that we do.
I kind of screwed this up because the purpose of this interview was to talk about all these programs that you've launched, all these things you've done, and I got us off track with all the cool stuff that is happening. So I think we'll probably have to get you to come back at some point and talk. Are there any things sort of upcoming that really you'd get out there?
Yeah, I have two quick things that I will just kind of tell you about. And the very first one is I'm excited to tell you we're bringing back Fuerza Local.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a business accelerator program that is meant for Spanish-speaking businesses. It's a 6-month program. It's free to participants. And during that 6 months, they really learn every aspect of owning a business. So this could be someone who has a really great foundation of an idea that they want to bring to life, or a local business owner that got into business for the passion of what they're selling or doing, but needs a little bit of help on fundamentals. So you can go onto our website, localfirstaz.com, and you can find the area for Fuerza Local, and there's an application, all the information about that program available there. Or you can email me, Jessica at localfirstaz.com, and we will get you the information you need. And then second, just something fun. We are a statewide organization. We do a lot of work with food. The Good Food Forum and Expo is going to be held in Tucson this August.
Oh.
It's a half day of education about the local food ecosystem. It's really meant for people that are food entrepreneurs, restaurateurs, people that are growing. There's a lot of people growing food in Southern Arizona.
When in August?
August 27th.
Okay.
So it's a Tuesday, and it's going to be at the El Conquistador. So the first half of the day, there's educational workshops, and then the second half is an expo for food artisans that are looking to really get into wholesale. We bring in purchasers and people, restaurateurs, to come and look at local brands and figure out, what they can carry and how they can collaborate and help them get into the food market. Yeah.
Well, if you're not familiar with Local First Arizona, or my first thought when I heard about them a decade plus ago was it's a buy local campaign. And I've learned over the years, certainly about advocating for that local business, but it really is about strengthening communities and economic security well beyond just that, and using but I like the data behind being a local business and the impact of community systems. I really appreciate how intricate the web is, and I'm excited having in Tucson. It's been a busy couple of years. We'll get you back in a few months. It'll be like a whole explosion of more stuff.
I hope so, because we've been busy, but it's been the right kind of busy. It's been really great for our businesses, and I'm excited for the opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good.